Okay, so let's get into this source we're looking at today. It's an audio clip, and it really deals with something, well, pretty fundamental, the education system and how it impacts children.
hmm And it sets up this real tension, doesn't it? The idea that schools should be places that nurture kids.
Right, that's the ideal.
But then the source points to this other reality where, for some children, it's actually quite harmful, profoundly so even.
Exactly. It lays out that while the system might aim to support, the reality it describes that sometimes kids get left really hurt. But, and this is crucial, the source is also really insistent that this isn't, like, inevitable.
It says we can change that quite forcefully.
Yeah. So that's kind of our task here in this deep dive,
Right.
to unpack what this source sees as the problem.
The specifics of what's going wrong.
And then what's the solution it's putting forward? What's the path it suggests?
Okay. And it doesn't hold back on describing the problem. The language is quite intense.
It really is. It says too many children end up broken, bullied, traumatized, ostracized, and then it adds even unalived or muted.
Those words, they carry a lot of weight. They're not chosen lightly.
No, definitely not. It paints a picture of really severe harm.
Absolutely. Using terms like unalived, I mean, that directly points to the most tragic outcomes like suicide.
Yeah.
And muted, that suggests a complete silencing, doesn't it?
Like crushing their spirit or their voice.
Exactly. A total suppression, which is, fundamentally the opposite of what education is supposed to be about fostering life, growth, expression.
It really underscores the urgency the source feels. But importantly, it doesn't just leave us there in the difficulty.
No, it pivots quite quickly.
Right, back to that message of hope we mentioned, it repeats. That's good news. We can change that.
And that shift is so important. It moves from just identifying a really serious problem to saying, okay, there's agency here. Things can be different.
And it offers this vision, a really positive one for every child. It says they should be armed, equipped, and empowered.
And what's interesting is how it says they should be equipped. It's not the usual list, is it?
No, not at all. It's not about, test scores or academic subjects primarily. It gets right down to their inner world.
Mm-hmm.
The source lists the tools as being armed and equipped with identity, with confidence, with self-worth and joy. And it specifies real joy.
And focusing on those things, identity, confidence, self-worth, really highlights how foundational they are for resilience, for development generally.
Beyond just school stuff.
Far beyond.
Mhm.
Knowing who you are, believing you're capable, feeling valuable. These are like the building blocks for navigating life's challenges, right?
Yeah.
And adding real joy.
Yeah, that struck me too.
It suggests something deeper than just, fleeting happiness. It points towards a genuine, authentic sense of well-being as the goal.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of equipment that we usually discuss in education.
And then it connects these internal tools to this ultimate outcome it describes, which is incredibly powerful. It says these prepare children for living life to the full until they overflow with happiness.
Wow. Yeah, so it draws a direct line from those inner resources, the identity, the confidence, the joy, straight to a flourishing life.
The idea being that real fulfillment comes from cultivating that internal state.
And the source wraps up by calling for people to come together, to actually make this happen, to create this reality where kids are equipped internally and, well, overflowing.
Yeah, so to sum up the source then, it presents this really stark, quite painful picture of potential harm in the education system,
A serious diagnosis.
but immediately counters it with this strong message of hope and a very specific way forward, which is all about equipping children on the inside.
Right. With identity, confidence, self-worth, and that crucial element of real joy, that's positioned as the key.
The key to a life lived fully, happily.
So given the source's really intense focus on nurturing these internal states,
Mhm.
the confidence, the joy, the identity, it sort of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What does that imply for how we actually measure success in education or even think about equipping children?
Yeah.
Does it mean we need to shift our focus, maybe more significantly towards their inner lives, their emotional well-being, rather than looking almost exclusively at, say, external achievements or academics? What would that actually look like?